What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Another great episode of Under Construction Men Building Men. I've got the great Eric Bostic from High Point, Greensboro, North Carolina. Eric, what's up, brother?
What's good, man? I can't call it. All is well on my way.
Oh, man, that's a beautiful thing. Man, me and Eric go way back, man, to the military. You see this bald head? He saved me because I had half a head. I had half a hair on my head. It was, this side was all hair, and this was bald headed, and I had formation. And he was like, "Man, come on over here. I got the clippers, man. You looking like crazy right now. You looking like Bozo the Clown."
Great times back in the
Oh
day.
yeah,
Great times.
So Tim, what's been going on with you, brother? What you been up to?
Man, been living life. You know, I'm down in Orlando, Florida right now, loving and living it up in Central Florida.
Okay.
Running my business, and life is good. I can't complain. I'm in the middle of the state. You know, I got the East Coast beaches, Cocoa Beach, and I also got the West Coast beaches. You know, I got Clearwater and Sarasota and St. Petersburg and all that good stuff. So I'm happy, man. I'm happy.
Man, that sounds like a beautiful thing. So you went from high school superstar to college, and then to the Army Rangers. What made you go be a Ranger? You know, after being a high school superstar and college.
Well, I got to get my backstory first. Growing up in High Point, I lived right on the line of city limits of High Point, and one street over, I would have went to a different high school in High Point, but where I lived, I went to a school in Greensboro.
Okay.
So all of my friends are from Greensboro, so I claimed Greensboro, even though I had a High Point address growing up.
Okay.
So, was good in football, had some scholarships, ended up going to, playing a year of college football and got hurt. Went to the military, man. We served together,
Right.
seventh group, whatnot. And that's what put the bug in my ear, man. And when my active duty service was over, I left the military 2 years early because I went on the Green to Gold program.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I was going to become an officer in the military. So I went to college at UNCG in Greensboro. When I got to UNCG, man, and the ROTC, they sent me right to Ranger School because I was already prior service. And it was summertime, so it was like, boom, you going. So that's how it happened, man. That quick, that easy.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
And what's crazy
Yep.
is because I had some injuries from when I was on active duty,
Right.
I wasn't able to become an officer. So I had, they'd put me through Ranger School and all the other stuff. So, I got promoted to staff sergeant in the reserve unit, and they let me finish out my time in the reserve unit because I had some previous injuries and I couldn't go back to active duty.
Oh, man. Hey, that's a military taking care of the military. That's all right there.
That's it. They took care of me. I ain't complaining. Hey, I got the tab. That's all I know.
Hey, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Hey, we know a brother that was in
class 0496. Please,
hey,
sir,
we know a brother that's been at Fort Bragg his whole career and never went to airborne school. Nobody ever knows how he did it.
I still can't believe that. I still can't believe it.
That boy did 55 years at Fort Bragg and never went to Ranger School. Nobody knows how he got away with that one, but he was a great soldier also. So your dad is a cop and your brother is a cop, and I see sometimes on Facebook you touch on some of the issues. How was that upbringing with your dad being a cop with all your friends, and then how do you teeter back and forth on the issues? Because I see you got a stance on what's right and what's wrong and what's wrong.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And, growing up with Pop as a police officer, he became a police officer when I was in kindergarten.
Okay.
So he was, my dad is 20 years older than I am, literally, almost 2 months apart.
Gotcha.
20 years and 2 months older than me. So I was 4. I went to kindergarten when I was 4. So Pop was 24 years old. So my entire education in public school, my dad was a police officer. So I had, my upbringing was different, dude. I couldn't use slang in the house.
Right.
I came up in the hip hop era. You know what I'm talking about? Yo MTV raps and all that stuff. Could not use slang in the house. Couldn't wear hats to the back. None of that stuff because Pop saw that stuff out in the streets every day.
Right.
And when he came home, he didn't want to see it. He didn't want to deal with it. He didn't want to hear it.
I got you.
I was literally I could not make a C on my report card. I made my first C on a report card in the 10th grade.
Yeah.
I thought the world was going to come to the end, dude. I was scared to go home. Literally, I was scared to go home because me and my
It was like,
pops used to
Eric,
play
we have
possum.
passed your bus stop like 5 times already.
Man, listen, bus driver was like, "Ain't you gonna get off?" I was like, "No, you're not." You know, pops was a police officer, mom was an accountant, so she was a brainiac as well. So
Okay.
yeah, when I made and what's crazy, it was in advanced math in the 10th grade, algebra 2, advanced algebra 2.
Right.
Hard math, but I made a C in it. Boy, I was scared to go home. But pops did not play. All of my friends knew my pops did not play. And, you know, to this day, I'm 51 years old. When I go home to see my dad and I'm hanging with my friends, they
Right.
still call my pop Mr. Bostic.
And that's our generation, man. You know, these younger guys,
Yeah.
if we don't teach them the right way, even guys that were so-called thugs or guys from the street, they still were respectful to elders. But
Yeah.
now it's a lot different. Those kids don't care about anything unless you teach them to care
No
about something.
respect at all, man. No respect.
Dang. I be looking at them like, hey man, pull your pants up. I had on baggy pants, but they never was like this.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're right. You know, my son is big in football right now. I don't even know if you know this. My son he just turned 16 on Wednesday. He is already being recruited by Power 5 schools, Alabama,
that's
Michigan,
awesome.
Florida State, and whatnot. And we go on recruiting visits.
Right.
It is very apparent who has been raised,
right,
and who has not. And it's sad to say that. You know, I don't want to judge people, but by the way some of these kids act,
right,
you know, 1 + 1 = 2. You know what I'm saying?
right. You got all this talent, but maybe not the mental fortitude to make it. You can't get out your own way.
Right, right.
Yeah, I've been watching you and your son doing the 7-on-7, and I remember last year I think he went to a camp or something.
Yeah, IMG Academy.
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember
IMG.
you telling me something like that.
Yeah,
that boy doing it.
Yeah, he is, man. IMG wants him to come and play for they have a white team, which is, you know, general high school, then a blue team, which is a really good travel squad throughout the state of Florida.
Okay.
I think it's level 4A in Florida. Florida goes up to 6A, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And then they have a national team, which is they call it the black team, where they travel all across the country. And IMG Academy wants my son to come to play on their black team.
Man,
if you're on the black team, that's almost guaranteed Division I Power 5 scholarship. And
oh man, that's awesome and a blessing.
Yeah, but you know, I don't want him to do that. I don't want him to do that, man.
No,
and I'll tell you why. If he is good enough to play on their black team, for IMG Academy, St. Thomas Aquinas in Fort Lauderdale wanting to come play for them as well, which is another big Florida football program.
Right.
If he's good enough to be recruited by those programs to come and play for them at running back, he can stay right where he's at University Christian in Jacksonville, Florida, which is a powerhouse football program, and be recruited by the same Power 5 schools and get just as much attention.
And probably not put as much wear and tear on his body.
Right. Ain't no way I'm sending my son to South Beach. Come on, bro. Come on. You know me. You know me. You know how I was. My son is just like I was.
16-year-old South Beach.
That ain't good.
Highly recruited talent.
That ain't good.
They're gonna be everywhere. They're gonna be like, oh man.
Man, I'll be worried about having a grandbaby before he go to college.
Hey son, don't do it, man. Just wait till you get to school. They just get better with age. Just wait.
Got the gift of gab too. Woo, Lord Jesus.
Man, that's all right, man. That is awesome, brother.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
We'll be watching him on Saturdays.
Okay.
I have no doubt about that. We'll be watching him on TV on Saturdays, and that's I say it in the most humble way I can. I'm not bragging or boasting. We will be watching my son on Saturdays.
Man, it's okay. It's okay to brag and boast, man, when they doing good things like that.
Yeah.
My son, hey, my boy Eric's son gonna be on Saturday. I'm telling y'all right now, it's gonna be on Saturday. Well, I hope he go to Carolina though. I don't want him to go. I hope he go to Carolina. I know they ain't no super, super school, but it's still Carolina.
Man, the SEC school's been all over in Florida State. He hadn't got any letters from Carolina. He was actually on the sidelines at the Clemson-Kentucky game at the Citrus Bowl that was in Jacksonville as a guest of, as a recruiting guest of Clemson. And he was texting me from the sideline talking about, Dad, I can't wait to run behind these big linemen. These guys are huge.
Man.
Yeah. So
I can only 6'6", 300 pounds leading your way.
Yeah.
But man, that's beautiful. And you got a daughter too, right?
Yeah, I do have a daughter.
Your daughter's
She's in
older?
law school. I want to say one more thing about my son. The thing I'm most proud of is not athletic related. He has a 3.9 out of 4.0 GPA.
Man.
That's what I'm most proud of.
And that's the beautiful part about it. That is one of the greatest things for his athletics.
That's going to set him up long term because, football ends. You were a football guy too. I know about Derrick Vick back in the day.
Yeah. Hey, that ends, especially when your coach is terrible like ours was. So,
I had one of them too. In college. Yep.
I put that post on Facebook. Terrible.
I do have a daughter in law school at North Carolina Central University.
Okay.
She's actually teaching. She's got a full-time job teaching, and she's going to law school at night. And so she's enjoying that, and I'm super proud of KB. And wish her nothing but the best. Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. HBCU in the house. Hey, we making them happen right there.
Yeah.
So you tell me. So you got out of the military, and then you started your own business. So tell me how that works out.
Well, it was a journey to get there. I worked for a couple companies, bounced around, but I got laid off on Black Friday back in 2007. Basically half the country got laid off. My wife was actually pregnant with my son, William, at the time, and she was on bed rest, and I got laid off. And I promised her that I was not going to draw unemployment, that I was going to find something that was mine, that nobody could ever take away from me. And I found the credit card processing industry.
Okay.
And I remember talking to her, and I was like, I signed an account up, and it's mine. Nobody can take away from me. And I get paid on it every month, a percentage of the profits. Every time a credit card goes through that terminal at the end of the month, I get a percentage of those profits. Man, yes, I ran with that.
Man.
And I busted, I can cuss, right?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
I busted my ass, dog, for 2 years. My son was born. This was my plan for 2 years. This was what I did for 2 years. My son was born. I would get up, take my wife to work, come back, take my son to daycare.
Right.
Work all day.
Right.
Pick my son up from daycare, bathe him. And I posted about this. You've probably seen it on my social media.
Right.
Bathe my son, put him in the car seat, go pick my wife up from work. I did that for 2 years. And then I told my wife at the time she didn't have to work anymore because I built my business so much and replaced her salary and everything else, so she didn't have to work anymore.
Man.
And I ended up, I've owned the business for 17 years now total, but 12 years in, I had the opportunity to sell my business back to First Data, which is one of the largest processing companies in the world.
Right.
I had some large national accounts, Derek, that they wanted as house accounts. I had Sunshine House daycare centers all across the country. Alpha Best early education centers all across the country. They were the 6th and 9th largest daycare chains in the country. I had those.
Ooh, man, that is what I'm talking about.
You from North Carolina, so you're going to know this name. I had Harris Teeter Grocery Store.
Yes, sir. Harris Teeter.
887 locations at the time. And I also had Volvo Heavy Equipment, which is the trucks and earth moving equipment from Volvo.
Right.
They're based in Greensboro, North Carolina, where I grew up. And the reason I got that account was one of the girls that I went to high school with. She worked in their accounting department, and she told me about the bid. They were putting it out for bid, request for bid. So I did the RFB, request for bid, RFP rather, and made it and ended up with that company. And when I sold my company, I was making anywhere from $85,000 to $115,000 a month.
Man.
And when I say residual, that money comes in whether I do anything or not. You see me snap my finger every 30 days. That check can.
Every time you close your eyes, it's a transaction.
So
transaction.
Well, yeah, life was good, man. Life was good. So First Data reached out to me and said they wanted those accounts as house accounts, and they offered me $3.2 million.
Right.
And this was after $3.2 million after taxes.
Dang.
So yeah, it was nice. And so they basically funded my retirement.
Yeah.
I bought a condo at Patriots Point in Charleston, South Carolina. You probably saw my boat on social media. I bought a 37-foot Tomahawk Sunseeker boat.
Man. But you didn't retire though.
I did retire at 42.
Did you?
I did.
Oh.
But I was bored out of my mind because you can only hunt. You know, my son raced motocross and did dirt bikes. Remember
right.
that.
I remember that. Yeah.
You can only ride dirt bikes. You can only play golf so much.
Right.
While I'm out doing my thing, all of my friends were working. They're 9-to-5 jobs. And I'm sitting here like bored out of my mind.
Right. Right.
People, and I'm going to tell you this, and I say it with all sincerity. People think getting a windfall of money is great. It is for a certain amount of time.
Right.
But then you are bored out of your mind, and idle hands are the devil's playground, dude.
Because you ain't got nobody to go with you.
Right.
Man.
Ended up causing my divorce and whatnot and whatnot. But, that's life.
Right.
But, you asked me about my journey. 2 years into the non-compete where I couldn't be in the industry, First Data lost the accounts.
What?
Yeah, they lost the accounts. Customer service issues. So they rescinded my non-compete and said, hey, you want to get back in the industry? This is the deal we'll give you. So I was like, hey, yeah, I'll do that because it was a better deal than what I had before.
Right.
And I didn't have to pay the registration fees to register with the card brands, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover. I didn't have to pay those registration fees, and I had a better deal. So I got back in the industry and relaunched my business, man. And I'm down here in Orlando, Florida, and rocking and rolling and doing my thing, bro.
And you got the gift of gab because that's not an easy task to walk into somebody's business unless you really know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And pry the credit card system he's been using for years out of his hands. But once you explain it to him, he'll be like, you know what? That might be better for me, what you're talking about.
I'm going to be candid with you. I had a big win this weekend. A granite and tile company back in North Carolina, which is a big distributor. It's a big distributor of granite and tile, this company.
Right.
$750,000 a month, credit card processing. Just signed them up. That increased my residual $12,000 a month.
Dang.
Yeah, I had a $12,000 bump up.
$12,000 coming whether you're working or you're sleeping.
Yep. Once that installs, they keep doing business, rocking the way they're doing it. My pay went up $12,000, and I do good. I haven't said what I made. I do very well. I own the company. Every time a card goes through a machine, I get paid. And I have 9 people out, and I get 50% of what they do. So
man,
life is
so
good.
all my under construction folks out there, if you got a business that you processing credit cards, hit my boy Eric Bostic up because he gonna get you right.
I'll tell you what. This just popped in my head. I own the company, so I set the rates.
Right.
So for anybody that's on the under construction webinar that sees this, $29.99 a month for unlimited credit card processing. So you don't pay the fees, your consumers pay the fees.
Okay.
You pay just $29.99 a month for unlimited credit card processing, and I'll give you free equipment.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'll give you the equipment for free. You just pay $29 flat rate. Period.
And make sure when we get off, I'm gonna put all that stuff down in the bottom of the signature. And we're gonna jump it off like that. You heard that what he just said?
It's on video, man. It's on video. I own the company, so I can do this. That's that. Y'all getting the Fort Bragg Building 406 discount.
Hey, if you guys don't know about the Army, so the Army the Army is a special place. I wouldn't have it any other way. I had to, that was my journey. I had to go through the military to get out of the streets of Goldsboro that I put myself into. And Fort Bragg was beautiful. They sent me to Fort Bragg, and they put me in the 3rd Battalion 7 Special Forces group with Eric Bostick and Derek Fitz and Stanley McIntyre and all those type of people, man. Sergeant Bear, Sergeant Smart, God rest his soul.
Yes, sir.
And it was great, man, to just a bunch of men take care of each other when we deploy or whatever.
Yeah.
It was a family all the time. Like I said, I fucked my hair up and needed somebody, and my brother hooked my hair up. Now, when I first came to the unit, they gave me a fake beret or something. It wasn't shaved. I was at formation looking like a fucking pizza delivery boy, and they let me have it, boy. Good.
I remember that.
You're supposed to be at attention, and you hear somebody, pizza, in the back, pizza. Who gave you that hat? I'm like, man, shh, you can't be talking. Man, don't tell me what to do. And the NCOs weren't saying anything. They was like, man, give it to him. Get him. Oh.
I set you up for failure, boy. That was funny.
Man, talking about just put this on. I looked at that beret. I was like, man, are you serious? You don't want me to be mad. Y'all don't even like me, man. I just got here. Y'all don't even like me. Oh, man. So that's great, E, man. You got your own business, man. You're doing your own thing. Your son's doing great. Daughter's doing great. Man, family's doing great. Oh, man, that all that is great. And so the reason why I wanted to bring you on, because on this page, I'm trying to build up men, men building men. That's the whole thing. So I wanted to bring you on because you went to you never lost your way. You was a good athlete. Went to college, got hurt. Went to the Army, went to Green and Gold, and then still finished that journey to get into your own business to start a journey. What mindset did you need? I mean, what was the thing that really pushed you over to make it to where you are today, you think?
That's a good question. One of my driving forces, man, this is just being totally honest. I have an intense fear of failure. I have an intense fear of failure. Gotcha. Whenever I feel like I'm not performing or doing my best,
right?
I'm gonna do like I go into another gear and get out of my way. I can't explain it. Just get out of my way.
Yeah,
because I just lock in and I'm going. So that intense fear of failure. I remember being in Ranger school, and I remember the Ranger telling us, he used to always say, every good and perfect thing stands on the razor's edge of perfection and should be fought for daily. Not just daily, but moment by moment. I never forgot that. Every good and perfect thing stands on the razor's edge of destruction, must be fought for daily. Not just daily, but moment by moment. And he would tell us that, the Black Hats would tell us that to lock in and focus on what we have to do to get what we have to do done.
Okay.
And that, along with an intense fear of failure and just being able to focus like that, man, that is what pushed me, bro.
Okay.
That is what pushed me.
Woo.
You good?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure your dad in the back of your mind, like, boy, you got that one seed. Don't.
And this just something else just popped in my mind. Something, that my dad and my uncles used to always tell us, my grandmother's name was, Mary Jane. So they used to always call her grandma. We always called her Grandma Jane. We'd go to Grandma Jane's house, and, before we left, my uncles, my dad, even when I left the house at home, boy, what's your last name? Bostick, Daddy. Bostick, Uncle, whatever it was. You bring your name home as good as it is when you left here with it.
Okay.
Yeah, you see that exactly. The look on your face right there tells me that hit you. And that's how it hit us. You bring your last name back as good as it was when you left here with it. That's all I'm trying to do, bro. The football players say, I play for the name. It wasn't football player. It was one of these professional artists. I play for the name on the back of my jersey, not the front.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to bring my name home as good as it was when I left it with it, and just make a name for myself, bro.
Man, that's a beautiful thing right there. Shoot, I almost got choked up in here.
Yeah.
Whew.
That happens when I tell. That actually happens when I tell people that it hits them the same way.
My dad probably told me that too. Hey, you better come home to where you left. Where my gun at? I don't know. Somebody must have stole that gun, Daddy.
You know, you asked me earlier about how it was growing up with a police officer.
Yeah.
As a dad, even when I was at Fort Bragg, dude, when I went home on leave,
Yeah.
there were two rules: be in the house by 12 o'clock, and don't drink and drive. Now I'm 23, 24, 25 years old. I'm a grown man. I've been to combat, came back home, whatnot. I gotta go, literally, dude. If I got home before 12 o'clock and my mom and dad were in the bed, I had to go to my parents' room and blow my breath in my dad's face. So he would
make
know
sure you weren't drinking and driving.
I wasn't drinking and driving.
Oh.
Number one. Number two, if I did not get home before 12 o'clock, the front and back door were locked. I couldn't get in the house. I had to sleep in my car. There were many days when I was home on leave. And you remember this name, Gene Blackstone. He was with me. He would be in the car with me, sleep in the passenger side, and my dad would be knocking on the window when he went out in the morning to get the newspaper, say, y'all boys get up out the car, come on in the house. Gene, yes. You remember Gene Blackstone?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Blackstone probably was like, man, we can't go inside?
Yep, no. Gene would come home with me, and we wouldn't be home by 12 o'clock. Dude, we had to sleep in the car. And my dad would knock on the window and wake us up and tell us to come in the house. No.
Blackstone is the only guy I know that did 150 push-ups before you had to take the PT test. I'd be like, Blackstone, what the hell are you doing? I got to get ready for the PT test. How many push-ups do you plan on doing? Because you already done 100. Oh yeah, I'm just warming up.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
That was my dude, man. Me and
now
Stone.
I see why you're a monster.
Me and Stone.
I saw him on Facebook for a little bit, but I haven't seen him on there for a while. I think
he's on LinkedIn. He's on LinkedIn now. He's on professional mode, so he's not on the Facebook side of it anymore.
Oh, I can understand because Facebook is
yeah.
Some people are lost on Facebook. Somebody was arguing with me on Instagram because a lady on Instagram said, "Tell me something, positive and good." I said, well, I got a new podcast on men helping men, and so far it's doing great. So somebody sent me a message, oh, man, you shouldn't be trying to push your podcast on somebody else's page. I said, first off, I didn't tell you the name of my podcast. The lady asked for positive because she was feeling down. She wanted some positive stuff.
Yeah.
I told her something positive. Now here you are like an asshole trying to tell me what I should have did.
Yeah.
One thing for certain, two things for sure. You only gonna tell me that on this computer.
Right. Yeah, because I know you ain't gonna say it in your face.
Because if we was going to the dining facility, I'd be wearing your ass out there by the dining facility. I'm just saying.
I ain't gonna say it to your face. I call them keyboard warriors, bro. It's a lot of them out there.
They strong too, boy. They special forces and everything.
Yeah, behind that keyboard, they talk all kind of junk. But when you get to face to face, they're quiet as a mouse.
A friend asked me, he's like, man, how did it feel to be in a special forces unit? I said, man, it was special, man. It's nothing like it. The special forces unit has nothing to do with the military at all. Those guys are highly professional and great at what they do, but they ain't following those regular military rules.
No, you're not regular military when you're in the SF unit. No.
I saw that corporal. I was over at the commissary. I saw the corporal. The E4 was at parade rest to the corporal. I just walked by him and looked at him like this. I was like, y'all the same rank, right? That dude was like, specialist, what are you saying? I'm like, oh, man, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. And then he looked at my tab, had those lightning bolts on it. He was like, this guy. This
they
guy.
know. When they see the lightning bolts, they're like, oh, whatever, dude, go on.
This guy. Get on out there. This guy's not part of the military. Oh, I'm definitely part of the military, but we don't do that.
I was at the Fort Bragg commissary one time, and I ran into one of my old drill sergeants.
Yeah.
And he saw the lightning bolts. He's like, oh, So you don't graduate. You ain't in the Army no more, huh? You do your own thing now. I was talking to him, not at parade rest, nothing. He was like, "Oh, you do your own thing." Hey, hey, it is what it is, player.
Because when I first got there from basic and AIT, I was standing at ease to first sergeant, and he was looking at me like, "Where you coming from, private?" I was like, "Oh, I just came from basic and AIT." He's like, "Oh, relax."
Relax.
I need for you to relax. What's wrong, first sergeant? No, I just need for you to relax. Just turn it down a little bit,
Yeah.
All that at ease and parade, man, just turn it down. And then you got Sergeant Walker and Sergeant Scarborough, man.
Sergeant Scarborough, man, he was one of my favorites, dude.
Because you work for the colonel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Sergeant Major.
Fucking Colonel Higgins talking about he gonna run PT. Man, nobody gonna run PT with you, man. We're gonna run 5,000 miles at 87 miles an hour.
I know.
As soon as I see him come out of the office, I'll be like, here comes Sergeant Major. The colonel wants to have a company run. I mean, a battalion run. So we're gonna run today. We're gonna run the formation. No, he's just gonna be out front. Oh man, come on. Shit.
Because he didn't want to run in the formation. He sure did. He sure did.
He just gonna say, "Go." I'm like,
man, I remember one time. I don't know if you was there for this one. Sergeant Major Coker. There was he bought a 5-ton to formation one time for PT. And we all got in the back of the PT. That 5-ton went to the end of Range Road at Fort Bragg.
Oh my goodness.
We got off of the 5-ton, had formation, and he said, "Fall out, see you back at the company." And the 5-ton left. And we had to run. That was about an 11-mile run, dude.
Man.
You know how long Range Road is at Fort Bragg? He dropped us off from the 5-ton and said, "See you back at the
company." I just think it's so great because those guys would come in E6, E7, green braid up, all the tabs on. Just if you didn't know that they were special forces, you wouldn't know that they were special forces. They were relaxed, laid back, funny. Just like when Panama. So first sergeant, I can't even think of his name right now. He said, "Hey, specialist, I need for you to go pick up, the SF guys because Bravo team or something, because Panama is supposed to be, I put these quotation marks, is supposed to be the last place they can drink before they deploy further down to Lima, Peru, and all that."
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I go to the airport, pick these guys up. This guy said, hey, Vic, hey, when you get to this light right here, make a right. I said, "No, Sergeant, hell no, man. Listen, first sergeant told me to bring y'all back to the barracks." He said, "Man, listen, when you get to this light, you going to take a right." I said, "No, man. First sergeant told me to take y'all back to Fort Clayton as soon as I picked you up." He said, "All right, hold on."
Coach, he
pulled out his phone. I'm like, this is 94. He pulled that sat phone up. He was like, "Hey, first sergeant, we going to be a little while." And first sergeant was like, "All right, put Specialist Vic on the phone." He put him on the phone. He was like, "Man, take them where they want to." Man, I said, "Motherfucker, why you tell me to bring them back to the barracks? And then when I try to tell them they're going to the barracks, they're going to tell me no." So we take a right.
I know, and next thing I know, I got an idea where you took them, but I want to hear it.
Yeah. Look, I don't know where we went, but we went someplace. The first place we stopped, it looked like a hut, but Miss America was standing in the doorway. I was like, "God almighty, no. Why is Miss America in the hut? This damn place ain't got no doors, no windows, but Miss America's in the motherfucking door."
Oh my gosh, boy.
So I picked him up at the airport at like 1 p.m.
You see me rubbing my beard, right? You see me rubbing my beard, right?
Look, I picked him up at 1 p.m. We don't get back to Fort Clayton the next day at 1 p.m. First sergeant said, "You all right?" I'm like, no, because first of all, I didn't understand anything anybody was saying. Everybody speaking Spanish but me. We drinking and eating, and the sergeant first class, I don't know if you remember, he was a light-skinned dude. He had like curly hair. He was kind of
Pharaoh?
tall. He was
It wasn't Sar Pharaoh, was it?
Pharaoh.
No, what Sar?
This guy looked like he was mixed like black and something. He was kind of tall. E6, had curly hair.
No, dude, that's Sergeant Pharaoh.
That's Sergeant Pharaoh. So he tapped me. He tapped me. He said, Vic, don't worry about it. I got you. I said, man, I don't understand what you're saying. He said, hey, man, I said, don't worry about it. I got you.
Yeah.
And he ain't lying. That boy had me. That boy took good care of me.
A good time was had by all, was it not?
By all. I understood what nobody said.
Because I know where you went.
Hey, I understood what nobody said all night, but the time was outstanding. Like, hey, man, this is beautiful. So then I take them. And then, it's me, Fitz, Mac. We down there for 90 days, picking up people from the airport, getting the same treatment every weekend. Hey, I didn't even call First Sergeant no more. Hey, take it right here. You got it, Sergeant. Don't even worry about it. Right here? You want me to turn right here? Yeah, don't worry about it. We're going to go.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Did you ever go to the spot where the doors opened up and you drove in, dropped them off, and then backed out?
Well, this one was the infamous push button.
Okay.
And so people, it's crazy because people think I be lying. So y'all gonna get the real look.
He ain't lying, y'all.
You pull up to a place that looks like a storage unit.
Yes.
And
he ain't lying, y'all. He ain't lying.
There's 35 storage units side by side. So you pull in. So you go pick up whoever you with. You pull in, the damn storage thing closes behind you. You get out and you put $10 in the slot. And it goes in there, and then a door opens, and it's a room. Just don't touch the champagne in there because it ain't $10 no more. That's just about $150.
Man, listen,
the push button.
Vic, I tell people about that, bro. They don't believe me. They do not believe me.
You go to the monkey meat stand, get some monkey meat stand. I don't know if it's monkey meat, but it is outstanding. Whatever the meat is wonderful. I don't know what it is.
Chicken on the stick.
They was like, hey, man, we're going to stop at the monkey meat stand. I was like, the what? The monkey meat stand. I was like, why you call them that? He was like,
oh, my gosh.
Hey, I said, why you call them that? He was like, well, we don't know what the meat is, so we just call it the monkey meat stand.
Man, you bringing back some memories, bro. You bringing back some memories.
I don't know how many monkey meat sticks I ate.
Man, you remember Major Clausen?
Yeah.
Man, I was down there one time, and they were doing an insertion, man, and we dropped off at the bus station. We waiting on the bus, walking down the street, bro. Major Clausen, like, man, I got some chicken on stick. He did that about 3 times, and then I'm just gonna keep it real. He was like, yeah, we gonna be in the field for 120 days.
Yeah,
I gotta get me a woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real, Vic. Keeping it real. I gotta get me a woman. So he ain't find one. So we can't find him. One time we had a chicken stop at one of the chicken vendors with the chicken on stick.
Yeah.
We can't find him, dog. We can't find him. One of the NCOs leaned against the door. The door falls open. Major Bob Clausen is in there doing his thing with some chick. All we hear is some screaming. Diablo es aquí, Diablo es aquí. The devil is here, the devil is here. Diablo es aquí, Diablo es aquí.
Hey, he said he ain't going without no strokes. Y'all could do what you want.
Man, I hate to do this on your podcast, dude, but that's a true story.
He said, I ain't going without no strokes. Y'all on your own, baby.
Diablo es aquí, Diablo es aquí. Boy,
people don't understand, man.
That raising hell.
Hey, we go to these foreign countries, man, and live in their country, man. You do what they do. You eat what they eat. Yeah. You celebrate how they celebrate. They celebrate all the time. Like every weekend, they was having a party in Panama.
In Panama, good Lord. Oh, and down in Ecuador too. Quito, Ecuador, Lima, Peru. Because you was down there for JTF Safe Border, right?
No, I didn't. So the furthest I went was Panama. Okay. I wanted to go to Lima, Peru, because their advance pay was about $25,000 before they even left the country. They came in, I'm in S1.
Yeah.
So Sergeant comes in. He was like, yo, I'm here to do my advance pay. I was like, all right, let me check it out. I was like,
yeah.
bro, your advance pay is $25,000. He said, yeah, when I come back, I'm probably gonna get about another 87. He said, when we deploy for them 6 months of leaving Peru, we coming back buying brand new cars, cash, houses.
Hey, I used to go down there on TDY with Colonel Higgins and saw Major Hand and saw Major Rupert. Bruh, I loved it.
Man, Sergeant Major Hand and Sergeant Major Rupert, boy, that's some old names right there, boy.
Yeah, Sergeant Major Hand passed a couple years back.
Oh, did he?
Yep, up in Georgia. He died. And Sergeant Major Rupert died a couple months back.
Man, Sergeant Major Rupert was already old. He was already about 400 years old back in 94.
He passed a couple years back, man. I went to Fort Bragg for his service, or Fort Liberty for his service.
What? That's the new name, Fort Liberty?
Yeah, Fort Liberty. That's the new name.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I don't call it Fort Liberty, dog. It's always going to be Fort Bragg for me because, I spilled some blood and a lot of sweat. You too. A lot of sweat at Fort Bragg on the Madam. You remember the Madam Mile?
Man, hey, this is the funny thing. See if you remember this. So there's like, oh man, the SF guys got to do their qualification for rucksack markers, so we're gonna go out there with them. I was like, all right, cool, man. We bring our rucks out there. The SF guys are in shorts and they boots, and they put their rucksacks on their back, and they was like, hey, Vic, you going with me? I was like, yeah. As soon as he laced and tightened his damn rucksack, that sumbitch took off running. I said, hell no, I ain't going with you. Y'all got about 12 to 18 miles and you running? He said, yeah, I'm going to run the whole thing. I'm going to be first. But you know who took off running? Fucking Blackstone. Look at Blackstone. Look at that sumbitch running, boy. Where you going, bro?
Who was with Blackstone? Blackstone?
You took off running too?
Yeah,
y'all crazy, man.
Nobody wanted to partner with me and Blackstone because we was going to run the whole damn thing.
I'm not running with y'all, man. When they took off running, I was like,
yeah, me and Blackstone.
And
we ran it.
Once one SF guy took off running, the other was like, oh, he's trying to get ahead.
Yeah.
And here I go.
The only one who ran with us was Muhammad. You remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew Muhammad was going to try to run with y'all. That crazy
He live over in Tampa, man. We talk sometimes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he over in Tampa.
Man, that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
You kept in touch with a whole bunch of people, man. I ain't seen Muhammad in.
Yeah.
Since Bragg, I think.
Retired as a master sergeant. He did well.
Man, that's all right.
He did well. Blackstone down in Georgia, where he's from, he's working with the VA down there. He's doing good. But yeah, man, you talking about I remember them days and certification. Nobody wanted to certify. Nobody wanted to run with me. Nobody wanted to partner with Blackstone. Nobody wanted to partner with me because they knew we was going to run it. So I remember Sergeant Smart put us together, man, and said, y'all go ahead. And we ran
we'll see. Oh, I'm going to make the time. I just ain't going to make that time y'all making.
Yeah.
And then, you remember Sergeant Slosher?
Oh, man, come on.
Hey, so Sergeant Slosher, how tall you think Sergeant Slosher is? 5'7", 5'6"?
Standing on a book.
So, I don't know if you remember this. So, me and Sergeant Slosher were on night land nav. You still got to do land nav.
At night, yeah. Sorry.
And out there when we do it, it's all swamp and everything.
Yeah.
So Sergeant Slosher stepped into that creek. I mean, there's water. He said we can either walk around or we can walk through it. Sergeant Slosher is 5'6". I'm 6 foot.
Yeah.
He stepped in. I stepped right beside him and almost drowned. And that so much water went clean over my head. He's standing there waist deep. That water is over my head. I got my damn rifle. I get out of the water like this. I'm like, what happened? He was like, damn, no, we're going to go around because one step, almost drowned. One step right beside him and almost drowned. But I mean, I tell people all the time with Robin Sage and those SF guys got to go through the mystical forest where that shrub is so tight that they be trying to walk through there and they be losing stuff. Their compass comes off.
The briars rip your uniform apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get.
But it was great, man.
Uniforms after that stuff, man.
It was great.
Yeah,
it was great. I mean, I have no complaints.
Those some great times, though, bro. Great times.
Yeah.
Remember JRTC when we, finished JRTC, was in Alligator Lake swimming with the colonel and stuff, and the MPs roll up, and Sergeant Major Judd, not Sergeant Major Judd, what's his name? Oh God, he got pulled over he got stopped. He got snatched by the MPs. They brought him back. to where we were at the lake, you know, and the MPs were like, y'all not swimming in the lake and there's alligators in the lake. The general's dog got killed by alligator and we out there swimming with the colonel and Sergeant Major Rupert. And, you know, the locals had made us,
don't you know these guys are killers?
Crawfish boils and everything, man. We having a good time.
Man. I remember that one party we had, there was kegs tied to each tree. I'm like, goodness. I'm like, who gonna drive us home? Because there are kegs on each, and every keg had about 10 people running.
Yep.
I'm like,
I remember that.
I'm not sure how we're gonna get home, but I guess we're gonna make it.
I know somebody who was standing upside down, and one of them, at least that's what I was told.
Yeah, hey, you go to Robin Sage, you know, they had us out there in those little buildings. Sergeant Major's like, all right, you guys have a 2 beer limit. These motherfuckers brought those big ass Foster cans back. All right, Sergeant Major's like, oh, you guys think y'all funny. Sergeant Major, you didn't say what size. You just said 2 cans. Them had those huge ass Foster cans. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Good times, man. Good times.
Oh man, that was great.
But you know what though, man? I think back on those times now, and I look back, those times, I draw from those times now, even in my business environment. You know, when things happen, and you know, just switch gears real quick. Just when things happen in business, and shit look like it, you know, it ain't gonna happen. I can draw back on those times and be like, look, I done been down here. Here's the thing: when you've been through the briar patch, the thorns don't look so tough.
They don't look so tough.
Yeah, that's the best way.
When it's so dark outside, when it's so dark outside, you can't see your hand in front of you.
Yes,
it ain't that tough.
Yeah,
it ain't that tough. When you can't, and when I'm talking about when you like this, and you can't see your hand, but you still got to make it through these woods and find these different flags that you're looking for. It ain't that tough out there.
I remember one certification. Me and Ken Blackstone were sleeping back to back. Literally, we're sitting down, back to back with a poncho over our head. It was 26 degrees, and it was freezing rain. And he and I were sleeping back to back. When you can make it through stuff like that, bro.
Hey, what they tell you? Don't sleep with your face in the dirt when you can sleep back to back.
Yeah, because I mean, the back to back, you keeping your bodies warm because his back is up against my back, and you keep your internal organs warm. If your internal organs warm, you can make it. But the point of that is, when you can make it through something like that, sleeping back to back, 26-degree rain with a poncho over your head, freezing. I mean, ice literally on the poncho. When you can make it through things like that, man, there's little stuff I got to go through on the business side of life. That's nothing, dude.
Oh, yeah. And I tell people all the time, just the discipline. So from basic training to AIT, and even though we went to 7th group, I don't want people to think that it wasn't discipline. It was still discipline because those guys are still excellent at the thing. But the day-to-day interaction with each other is not stressful. Because they deal with so much stress already, they don't want their home to be stressful. And people's like, what do you mean? I said, well, we could be at work on a Monday, and they get the call Monday at noon. And we got to meet them at the former prison. You know that former prison where they get locked down in, and they can't tell nobody that they leaving, and next thing you know, they gone.
For 90 to 120 days at a time.
They came to work on Monday, got a link or information, got they bug out bags and went to the prison, got their information and got to the plane and said, I'll holler at you.
That's it.
That's it.
That was our life, dude. That was our life, man.
Yeah. And it's crazy. So you look like, oh, well, but you guys are just support. Yeah, we support them. So what they do, we help them do. So if
they go,
all the teams bug out, we bugging out too.
We bugging out too. We bugging out too.
I still wanted to bug out to Lima, Peru, because people's like, well, what do they do? So I tell them all the time, special forces guys, they train forces to defend themselves. So when they go to foreign countries, I don't want to give too much information. They're not dressed like me. They're not in uniform. They're a civilian. Speaking the language.
They did what's called foreign internal defense.
Yeah, they're speaking the language. If they don't tell you, you don't know.
Yep.
except for me, picking up people at Panama that don't speak no Spanish. I try to order shark at the place that we got shark at. I don't know if you remember, you come out Fort Clayton, and there was a little hut over there that served seafood, which is absolutely amazing. And I'm over there, and she's trying to talk to me, and I'm like, do-dum, do-dum, do-dum. No, she speak English. She just want me to try to explain. I'm over there, do-dum, do-dum, do-dum. Her and the dude are looking at me like, oh, you want shark? Yeah. I'm like, I want a shark to begin with. You got me dancing like
yes, sir.
Jaws.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but that first place we went to, the World War II barracks, and then we finally went to the big time and got all that nice stuff,
the new stuff. Yeah,
got the nice barracks. The fucking cook stole all my TA-50, fucking asshole.
Yeah, them old World War II barracks, man, those are something, dude. I remember them.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
I know we died, man. They had asbestos and everything in them buildings, man.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. And you remember having to cut the grass? You cut the grass and the rocks hit people's cars and shit.
Man, I broke the captain's. Remember, I broke the captain's. I'm mad already because you got me out here cutting these rocks. Ain't no grass over here. You got me cut. That's all right. I went right by his car. Captain Burton, I think it was, a huge white guy. Burton, I think it was.
No.
He was special forces too.
God, what was his name? Metzger.
Was it? Well, I thought it was Burton first. Was it Metzger first?
No,
and then, was it Burton?
It was Captain Burton. I know you.
Captain Burton, huge dude. And then Metzger came after him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but man, yeah. That's terrible. So, man, that's great, man. Your kids are doing great, man. Your business is taking off. Make sure that I get the information so I can put it in on the YouTube so people, because I know there's a lot of people that got business that need a good credit because they're just going by what they got. They don't want to look for something else.
They don't know. Most business owners have no idea rates and how things work. A lot of people think they can go to banks and get a good deal. Banks don't process credit card transactions. Banks outsource to a company like mine. I give the bank a rate, and then the bank gives you a rate after they put something on top of it. And most business owners have no idea. No, they have no idea.
So you getting a rate from the bank that has jumped up from the rate that you gave the bank.
Yeah. Banks are in the business of banking. They're not in the business of merchant services and credit card processing. There are probably 3 or 4 banks that do their own processing.
Right.
And they don't do that well. I take accounts from them weekly.
Right.
Yeah. So if you're going to deal with a processor, deal with a processor. Don't go through a middleman.
Man, because I know there's 2 people right now. I'm thinking of Marcus Smith. He has a Pier 34 seafood restaurant, full bar and everything. And his wife also has a store where she sells Herbalife drinks and stuff. She's got like a sports, I guess a sports nutrition bar, you call it. Yep. People go in there after they finish working out, get them a drink for the day. So those are 2 people I'm thinking of that are probably definitely can get a better rate. Because I know Goldsboro ain't trying to give nobody no breaks. I'm going to tell you that right now. Goldsboro, North Carolina ain't giving no breaks.
Yeah. And I hate to say it, but it's typically our people that are getting screwed over because they don't know.
Right.
They don't know. Once you know better, you do better. And,
right.
I'm going to keep it real. A lot of us don't like doing business with us.
Yeah.
And I have no idea why. I would give you the homeboy hookup.
Yeah.
All day long. Why do I have no interest in not seeing you succeed.
Right.
I want you to, the more money you make, the more money I make in this industry.
Right.
So I'm
and
I
wonder
give them
I wonder if they think, sometimes you run into a restaurant that customer service is bad and you blame it to all people that look like us. Every black restaurant customer service ain't bad. Or maybe just that day you came and it was bad, but we do have to do a lot better especially on that front.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. I would agree with that as well. But it saddens me because I cannot tell you the number of times that I've gone to business owners that were owned by us,
Right.
and I would quote them a rate,
Right.
and they would say no. But then somebody else with another melanated skin color would
Right.
come in and give them a higher rate, and they would say yes.
Wow.
I cannot tell you the number of times, and I just sit back and I'm like, really? I had your best interest at heart, but you're going to give it to them and pay them more
Than what I just offered you.
than what
I
I
gave
just
you a
offered.
sweet deal.
The exact same service. They're not doing anything different.
Yeah.
Nothing different. But you're going to pay more to them than what you would pay to me.
Man. Yeah, that's.
I just leave. You know what? And keep it moving. And keep it moving.
Yeah, we have to do better, especially on that front, especially if it makes sense.
Yeah.
You got it. You can't keep letting opportunities pass you by when
Nope.
it makes sense. And we'll let it pass us by and be like, let me think about it. I'm not sure, and then never pull the trigger.
No, you're right, man. You're right. And it's sad. It's sad. I see it every day.
Damn, I'm Puerto Rican now. I am now Puerto Rican. I am now Puerto Rican, people.
I hear you.
Oh man, man, it's been great talking to you, brother. Man, we got to do this more often, bro.
Yes, sir. I'm game.
Man, I'm gonna get all the bro. Get you get Blackstone a call. I'm gonna get Fitz a call. We get Mac a call. I think I can have up to 8 people on here.
Yes, sir.
And we'll go ahead live and just tell everybody everything.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey, I wanted to get before we wrap up, I wanted to give my company info, dude, so your people can reach out to me for that deal.
Go ahead, bro.
All right. My website is www.EBA, B as in boy, A as in apple, payments.com. If you want to shoot me an email, it's info@ebapayments.com. And my number at the office is 407-374-3177. Again, 407-374-3177. Call me to take advantage of the, what did I say, $29.99 special, unlimited processing.
Yes,
sir. I will give you a free terminal just because you came to us or came to my company, EBA Payments, from my man's podcast.
Oh, man, that is wonderful. And shoot me that information also so I can type it in at the bottom.
All right, I'll shoot that to you via Facebook.
Well, folks, that's another great episode on Under Construction. My man Eric Bostic, and we're trying to build men, man. We got to get to a better spot till we take opportunities that present themselves to us and are able to process it, whether it's good or bad. And if it's good, don't be afraid to get on that ledge and jump for it. We've let a lot of things pass us by because we was afraid to take a jump. That's the reason why I started this podcast. The guy that I'm following or mentoring me, he said, all you got to do is press record. And, your first couple videos aren't going to be good and they just got to get better. 1% each video needs to be better. Just like life. You just need to do something 1% better than you did last time.
Yep.
And it should turn out better. This is my boy Eric Bostic, man. Hey, you have a great time. Tell the family I said what's happening. All praises, man. Go to you guys. Hey, man, y'all keep up the great work. Hey, hug somebody. Love somebody. Make sure you call them today because you may not call them tomorrow. Hey, y'all have a good one. Hey, hold on for a second. Don't get off yet, bro.